I think I'll just start since everyone is here. Thank you very much for coming, everyone. A little bit overwhelmed. Thank you much. I hope you're really going to enjoy my talk. I'm going to talk about audiences, who we're talking to. We're going to talk about millennials. Who are they? Why they're so scary? Difference between promotional content and value content. Understanding what platforms you want to use and why you're using the various platforms. We're going to talk about ideal length and formats. We're going to talk about aspect ratios. Now subtitles, everyone knows we should be using subtitles, so we're going to say that one more time later, that you have to use subtitles. So, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook and look a little bit quickly, just talk about how to use the various targeting methods and how to use the interests of people, geo-target, and just get the message to the audience you want to, and also that you can actually take out audiences that you don't want to see your audience. Then we're going to talk about a little bit how the product placement evolved in the future now, and also about social media influencers, who to use and not to use and what to be careful with, and there's some pitfalls there obviously. Then we're going to look a little bit of extreme formats, how you can use different things than everyone else to showcase your product. And now at the end I'm going to look at how to stay on top of all the challenges, because it's constantly moving and you constantly have to be learning. So we're going to look at that really quickly. And then how to use that all to get some return on investment, obviously, because that's why we're doing it. So I obviously had made a headline for my talk to the audience at the B2B Marketing Expo and B2C Marketing Expo. So I thought about age, demographic, what they like, what they dislike, and very much what their pains and desires are. And obviously, by the hands up, the future doesn't concern very many too much, but the dislike is video. So there's some pain in video making and using video on social media platforms, and the desire to do it better and using it to millennials. So I named my talk to my audience, and this is the first point that you need to think about when you're making video. That is that you need to consider who you want to see the video and who they are. What do they want? What you like does not matter. What matters is your audience. So audience always comes first, products comes last. Now, who are these scary millennials? Actually, not that scary at all. Many of my friends are millennials. It's the first generation that's grown up with technology everywhere around them. They have just become the biggest consumer group and the biggest workforce, and they're reaching their prime spending years. This is when they're buying houses, they're buying cars, they're buying sofas, they're buying jewelry, they're buying interiors. They are looking at everything from wallpaper to shoes and everything, and you have to consider them when you do your marketing. It's also the most diverse generation that has been around. Before, it was very easy to market to an age group. But millennials are very proud of themselves, and they're being authentic and being true to themselves. So you have hip hoppers, you have emos, you have students, you have lecturers, and so you can't think about the demographic anymore. You actually have to think about them in segments. You have to divide them up. As the millennials are on smartphones in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, in Europe, in America, literally everywhere. There's people on smartphones ready to view your content, watch videos you make, and they want you to engage with them. But you need to think about who you want to engage with, and that is right for them. They get very nervous when they don't have internet connection, millennials apparently. It's not nice. They want to have good signal, they want to be able to go on the internet, and they also expect customer service 24/7. Just 20 years ago, it was quite normal to just not call customer service after 5 o'clock because it would be closed. Now we call customer service at 9 o'clock in the evening, at 10 o'clock in the evening, because we expect to get an answer. If not, we tweet it and expect a tweet back to any brand, even big brands like Adidas. I have a very unfortunate, this very similar number to the TFL helpline. So I get calls even at 11 o'clock at night for people telling me they lost their Oyster card. And I every day have to explain that, sorry, this is a private house and we're about to go to bed, but I'm sure you find the Oyster card tomorrow. So that proves that people are expecting customer service 24/7. They're also sharing culture. If they like something, if they agree with something, they will share it with their friends. They believe that their interest is important to their friends. Their peers are very important to them. So them sharing the right content and the right video is important to them, because then they get seen by their peers to have the right interest, to have the right knowledge, and that they have educated themselves on the right subject. And as I said, they want it to be authentic. They want it to be true. They don't want to be played with. And I'm going to talk about an example later with Justin Bieber, and we'll come back to that in a bit. Loyalty comes hard, but when it comes properly. They're not going to buy the car their parents had just because their parents had a car. But if they get the feel that their brand, that car brand, represents them and communicates with them correctly, they will buy it. And when they have the loyalty, they will also promote it. So they can become your promoters if you communicate in the right way with millennials. So, quick one. What's the difference between original content and promotional content? Original content is friends. They had creatives, big budgets, and they made you turn on the TV. Everyone turned on the TV to watch Friends, and when the commercials came on, we sat through it because we didn't want to miss what happened after the commercial. That's the same with social media now. You have to think, you can't, just because you have budget to make a video, does not mean that you should just be selling. Because if you just sell, nobody's going to watch your video. And especially not if you try hard and say that Coca-Cola is the nicest drink there is. So we now have to make original content. We have to entertain. We somehow have to educate them. We have to find something that interests your audience so that they come back to you. And when they come back over and over again, that's when you can also target to them and say, by the way, we also sell a car, which you can have if you want, if it's right for you. So don't try and say it's the fastest and the best car. If they already watched all the video, all the content about your car, that it's great emissions, that it doesn't use leather. Maybe you're marketing to vegans. You don't want to have leather in your car. So you need to think about a lot of things and where your target market is. Promotional content, we all know what it is. We're selling a product, but we need to do that as well. But just keep that in mind. It used to be 1 to 5 with original to promotional content, and we can say the same about social media marketing. And Gary Vee's book, Jab Jab Hook, is a good example of that if you want to read up a little bit more. Then, now you need to, as I said, need to focus on the audience and not the product. So how do we entertain? If you are going to act like a producer or a production company like BBC or Channel 4, who made different content. There's Dave, who only does reality shows and these kind of shows. So they have a target audience, and the people who advertise on Dave, they know what audience is. So when you create your original content, you also have to think about your target audience. There's several ways to entertain. First of all, comedy. We all like having a laugh. It makes us feel good. It releases the right chemicals in our brain, and it's a great way. About 17% of people will instantly engage with fun videos that make them laugh, that make them smile. But you can also do drama. People like watching videos of soldiers coming home and surprising their children at school, and tears, and people watch it at work. It's a bit embarrassing. The other thing people like, information. They like to be educated, and people like to be educated fast. So within 2.5 minutes of a video, you should have had a lot of information. You should really feel like you know the subject after a very short time. And that way, we can give that to people. You can give it about your brand. If you're creating wallpaper, maybe you want to show the whole process, make short segments about the designers, about going to China, selecting the paper, doing environmentally friendly glue. Maybe again, you're marketing to vegans. You make sure there's no gelatin like the £5 note. There's other things like news, of course, just inform them about the current state, like they do a lot on Twitter, people like that. Reality shows, vloggers, there's vloggers out there who just record themselves every day walking to work, and tens of thousands of people then get to work and watch another person talking about their day and the problems they had the evening before, maybe with a cat or a boyfriend. So it's a reality show, and you can be the star of the reality show. It can be your boss, it can be the CEO, it can be somebody at your company, it can be the intern that just started at your company. But make it about the audience. Know the audience, not the product. Don't make a reality show about the car seat or the producer of some cups or something like that. You need to have it about the people so that they can feel related to the person, and then the product comes in automatically. When you share all this content, all this video content that you want to produce, you have to think about where you're going to put it, who's watching what. So this comes back to the channels we talked about earlier. People watch Channel 4, people watch BBC, BBC 2, BBC 3, BBC 4, CBeebies. They have all different audiences. The same with the social media platforms. And there's many of them. Now Facebook, people mostly go on to see what friends and family are up to. That's why they get on there. They quickly want to get an update about their friends who moved to Australia and see their kids on the beach. And I don't know that very well. My daughter does some cool cartwheels. She gets 500 views. I put a video about my business and I get 50. That's just how it is. People like family and friends on Facebook. So if you're going to post on Facebook, make sure that it has something that people can share and relate to on that kind of level. 95% of views on Facebook is on smartphone. Then you need to think about aspect ratio. People don't watch videos with sound on Facebook, so then you need captions. Are you going to have a hard-coded or integrated? We're going to look at captions in a little bit. But people want it fun and entertaining, people falling over, people doing nice things, people being kind, and some sensational stuff. But most of it is quick entertainment. YouTube is the long-form content. People watch YouTube in the evening, and you can regard YouTube very much as a TV channel. People have smart TVs and they can turn BBC off or whatever they're watching and turn YouTube on and watch something for an hour, for half an hour. And that's where people watch vloggers, the content that people create. And they can be long, and people don't mind sitting a long time because they're at home, they're sitting in the sofa. And actually they might want to have something that's not over after 2.5 minutes because they're sitting down and then they have to find something new. We all know about TV series binge watching, where people actually wait till the series is aired so they can actually go and watch something for Game of Thrones 3 hours every evening for 1 week and then be finished with it. So people, when they sit down and are comfortable, they will stay for a long time. And that's also when you get the most loyal customers, if that's what you're doing. When people have sit and watch something a bit longer, it's more they can relate better. One thing to remember, YouTube have their own automated captions. So do not put hard subs on your videos because they'll be layered on top of each other and people can't read the subtitles anyway. So you need to have a different export if you make a video for YouTube than for Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, people want to see beautiful images. People don't really want to get too much documentary style. They want to be flicking through beautiful images, and that will get likes. So I very much use Instagram for a hook to go and see longer things. People can be on the move, on the tube, on the bus, and going through Instagram, and they see something they like, and they might save it for later, or it might take them to a longer post, or maybe to a YouTube channel they watch in the evening. So it's a little bit like your movie trailer and your teaser. 99% is on the mobile phone, so square format. There's no 16:9 for Instagram because we all know people don't like twisting their phone. It's a hassle. It's a real hassle. And default, no sound. So make sure you put subtitles. They have no integrated subtitles. Make sure you put hard-coded subtitles on the Instagram video. Twitter is very much a very quick check. You know, there's limited letters. You have to be quick. People want news, celebrities. They want to know what's happening with the weather. If there's traffic on the road, home from work, if the tube is running. You can also communicate directly with celebrities and radio station and live TV shows. So Twitter is very, very quick. They have integrated video now. It's not working great, but mostly Twitter is for people who want news quickly. What you can use Twitter for very good when you do video content on the other platforms is to announce that you're putting out video content. So you can say days in advance, it's like, oh, Wednesday now, remember on Friday our new episode's coming out about this and that. Our latest video where Sue from the office does a backflip off her desk on Friday. Make sure you come and watch that later. Twitter, short, make sure you don't try and entertain or sell too much. It's just people want information and they want it quick. LinkedIn was very much a few years ago still just a platform to look for jobs, maybe get jobs, a little bit of posting. After Microsoft took over LinkedIn, it's very much become the professional social media platform. They offer integrated video now, and they have spiked their video uploads, the video engagement, and they've also taken smartphone use up to past the halfway mark. So it's 57% now of LinkedIn is on the app. LinkedIn was traditionally very much a desktop. People sat at work and felt that it was okay for them to go on LinkedIn for a little bit. Now it's becoming an entertainment as well. But remember, people want work-related stuff. Do not post about families. Do not put your pet on LinkedIn. And if you're employees of a small company or a company where all employees should be part of the brand of a company, then you need to educate your employees how to use LinkedIn, because you can't just go and have everyone from a company posting this and I work here and this happened here. It needs to be very informed. People want to be educated with things that relate to their office work and how they can improve their work, maybe how to write a CV, very popular. Somebody educating someone how to write a CV and get a better job, get a massive hit on LinkedIn. It's a professional platform. You have Reddit, you have Snapchat, which is very much for the millennial generation, where people just give out short messages, very personal. Pinterest is now becoming also a place where professionals can put out their stuff. If you're a jewelry maker or do art, you want to put your stuff on Pinterest because people share and create these pin boards to share with their friends and family. Oh, look at all this beautiful jewelry I found. You want to have your jewelry on that Pinterest page. Podcasts are becoming very popular. People go to the gym and it's not just okay just to work out. You now want to be educated at the same time or entertained. So think about maybe putting, if you have a half an hour YouTube video which is educating, maybe you just take the audio off and put it on a podcast on iTunes or one of the many platforms so people actually can listen to it if they don't need to watch the image. Google Plus is very integrated into the map. So if you want to inform people about your company and get ratings, it can boost your search engine and optimization. Tumblr, and then Flickr, which is also an image app. I'm running a little bit behind. I'm not going to speed up too much. The different lengths for different platforms. As I told you, YouTube longer, other platforms shorter, and there's limitations. So you have to know there's actually limits on what you can upload. As you see, the 16:9 on your right is a video we did for a gallery. This video was shot with high resolution so that we could take one video and turn it into several small pieces of content for all the other platforms. So we made sure that that client got the most value for their money when they hired us to film. Because we didn't go and film 4 different kinds of content. We actually filmed one content with the fact in mind that we needed to change the aspect ratio and change how it was. So anyone here know what platform or where to use this image? The 9:16? It's for Instagram stories. It's the only one that lets you put a video across the whole of your screen in portrait mode. Then you have a 4:3 and 1:1, which is very good for Instagram and LinkedIn and also Twitter if you want to go on Twitter. But make sure on the 1:1 that you hardcode your subtitles, yeah? But not on Facebook. So as I showed you earlier, the video we did was shot 16:9, and I want to explain, go back to the audience, because we knew what audience would be watching this. This is expensive art, and we knew that the audience would be 45 plus. They would be already interested in art, and they would be interested in high quality art. We weren't selling £30 pictures. there was high quality art. So we made sure that we did a high quality film. Also, one thing we had to consider was the lighting and the color on everything had to be perfect. Because if you come into the gallery and the color of the picture is slightly different on the video, you're going to be disappointed. This video we shot in half a day, and it created 10 pieces of content for this gallery. Remember I said, no argument, know where to put subtitles, okay? I'm just going to reinforce that. Know when to put subtitles and not to put subtitles, but create those subtitles. Facebook, they just have the most behavioral data of anyone. They're collecting everything. Things are changing, but one thing that's not changing is when you put money behind your content, Facebook will get it out there. It's a company, they need money to run, they need money to make profits, and if you put a little bit money behind your content, they will spread it to the people you want to show your content to. They offer an extremely powerful business-based advertising platform where you can build all kind of campaigns. You can split test. They split test for you with different kind of thumbnail images. They will show you detailed results, how long, who watched, how much, who clicked on it, and all this data are collected for your use to retarget later. So when we talked about this original content that people are watching, something they're feeling entertained and related to, you can see who's coming back every time. And after they come back 5-6 times, you know that they have a relationship to your content and feel like they can come back, and then they won't mind being advertised to. They don't mind getting an ad that informs them about a product when they already have a relation to that product. Now, when you build a targeted marketing campaign on Facebook, there are several options for you to build your audiences. First of all, Facebook's interests are based on the interest people select themselves, but also by pages they like, videos they watch, posts they like. Everything is gathered by Facebook. So although you haven't told Facebook that you like Dr. Martens shoes still or Adidas jumpers, they know because you might have liked certain posts or been to shops or websites and bought it. They have also purchased customer data from big companies and taken all that buying information and integrated it into their platform. The other thing is the customers. They can take your email list of your existing customer, you can import that into Facebook and make an audience from that. Facebook will then find the people on your email list, make an audience based on that. You can then also say that, can you please find and make me 10,000 people that look like my 10,000 best customers. So you imported the 1,000 people you know come back to your shop or your company constantly and say, please make me an audience of 10,000 that are the same traits, who behave in the same way. And then we can geo-target down to 1 mile radius. I have an ad running at the expo yesterday and today of at 2,500 views, and I know it's only people at the Marketing Expo who's watching that ad. I'm paying 2 pence per view because I have targeted the audience so specific. I didn't just drop my 1 mile radius pin on the expo. I didn't want the legal X people to see it, so I actually made sure that people who's watching it have some relation to marketing, advertising, or they have liked the page or any tweets by the Marketing Expo. So I know every single 2 pence spent for views have been worth it. And I've had at least 3-4 people coming over to my stand and said, I saw your video. Might not have been the best ad, but I knew that if I did, I tested it as well. So I have lots of information, and I have user information that I can use in the weeks after the expo as well. And then you just combine it all like I just said in my example. How product placement and how to use social media influencers in the future is a big one. Can you blend it? One of the first and most successful social media video campaigns. And if you haven't heard about it, a blending machine company in America was selling only to restaurants and cafes. and they had a very limited audience and target market. And they got a new marketing guy in, and he was introduced to the machine and said, oh, this is the best blender ever. It costs £300. We can't sell it to any mums. We can't sell it to any households. It's all professional. And he talked to the CEO, and he made the CEO agree to go on camera himself and make a program called Will It Blend? And they literally put anything in that blender, and audiences were allowed to engage with it. So people were like, put the new iPhone in it. So they did. They made a YouTube video, they put the blender on, popped an iPhone in it, filmed it in nice slow motion, the sparks flying, it blends. People didn't believe it. Can you put a brick in it? They put a brick in it, it blended. Suddenly, that company became a household brand in America, and everyone was buying this product. Their sales shot to the roof. They were suddenly having a totally different market just from a social media strategy, and they didn't even put any money behind it. They just made the right video. Now, other things, can your brand be the star rather than the people in it? Like Adidas are using social influencers in many of their videos. They make advertising that looks like music videos, that has artists in them. They have sport athletes in them. But they don't sell you the shoe, they sell you the lifestyle, the brand, the coolest brand there is, the brand that Stormzy wear proud. And he's not ashamed of it because he, like Adidas, they have found a guy that can relate to their product and their brand, and the brand can relate to him, and the audience can relate to him as well. Perfect. Now be careful when you use social influencer and celebrities. T-Mobile did a Super Bowl ad 2016 with Justin Bieber, where he's just doing goal celebration moves with kids. Backfired massively. They had a massive fall in sales after spending all the money. You know, Super Bowl ads are the most expensive ads in the world to air on any, you know, it's just the most expensive ad, and they put one with Justin Bieber. It can't have been cheap, and it backfired because people were like, that's fake. It's just Justin Bieber doing things that, it was just, everyone got it, especially the Millennial generation. T-Mobile, fake. And they now have 2 years of repairing their image after just one ad. Now you also want to find influencers. If you're going to use influencers, you want to use influencers that are right for your brand and that you know is not going to fuck up, you know, literally. PewDiePie, he's a very famous vlogger. He had a massive deal with Hollywood, creating an animation with him as a voice, and it was going to be massive. It's going to go straight to his target audience. And then he went on Fiverr and got people around the world to do a Nazi salute for fun, and he tried to prove a point that you can make people do anything for money, and it backfired massively. He was taken off YouTube. The project, the whole movie project, was screened. It was just put to death. Thousands of people lost their job. Animation project, you've seen the credits. It's 1,000 people. So one man irresponsibly ruined the whole image and the whole brand for a lot of people. So be careful when you use social media influencers. Make sure you educate them. Make sure that you have some sort of control of what's happening. But be authentic. Now, there's other ways to innovate with video. For example, we can use extremes formats. What this image shows behind them is 2 extreme large video screens that have been in the front of shop. This has to be created very carefully and well. We, for example, have made an immersive video for the Gates Foundation, which had an aspect ratio of 9:1, which covered 36 meters of screen and involved the audience to make them feel something. Okay, now how to stay on top of all the changes? Just make sure you test. It's okay to fail, but make sure you try. Content is king, but marketing is queen, and she runs the household, Gary Vee said. And he just wants you to put out authentic content, and that's what you need to think about. That if you're not putting out content right now, and video, and engage video audience, soon you don't exist on their peripheral. They don't go to Oxford Street every day, weekend, every more for shopping. They go on Amazon. And on Amazon is all the brands. So it's a jungle. Now, if you have engaged with the audience and show them the right content, they will go and find your brand instead of looking around, and make it last. Don't just make 4 videos and then never put out anything again. And the final thing, you then need to make this turn, all this I've been talking about the last half an hour, into sales. So this is where your marketing comes into place. This is where you really need to think about how you engage with all the customer data you have created over the period of your marketing campaign and content creation. You need to engage with them, and you need to contact them and make sure you get some sales, or else your money's been wasted. And we want to get some return on our investments, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as well. So while I finish this up, I want to say that when you think about using content and creating content, that everything doesn't need to be perfect. You just have to create content. We've been creating content for over 10 years, and we run social media marketing campaigns. We made videos for events, we made videos for companies. And I think it's very important that you want to engage with them people. If you don't want to make videos and engage with your audience, they will know it, they will feel it. If you're just doing it because you think you have to do it, the idea is not going to be right, the production is not going to be right, and the content is not going to be right. So when you do it, make sure that you want to do it and you do it right. You really make things that is targeted for your audience. And I think that's the key thing to take away today, is when you make video, make sure you think about that audience. If it's millennials, or if it's the baby boomers, or if it's your children, the content needs to be created for your target. So that's it for me. We're at stand 850. If you want more information, I'm happy to talk about it. Pretty passionate that you see. Thank you very much for coming, everyone, and have a great day.